Good evening, everybody, and welcome to once again to Rogues Gallery Live. Good evening once again, everybody. I'm Chris, the Batman Statue Collector, and welcome to our super show tonight. I cannot be more excited because we have some very, very, very special guests here on the show tonight. So welcome to Rogues Gallery Live. This is episode number 140, and I want to introduce everybody to the show. This is Dan DeFall from Wayne Manor, Rocket City. How's it going, Dan?
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. Super exciting night. Can't wait to dive in.
Glad to have you here as always, my friend. We also have Eric B. from All Things Art.
Hey, everyone. Excited to be here. Looking forward to tonight's show.
We have Matt Martin in the house. How's it going, Matt?
Going good. Hope all is well.
Doing great. We have Jeff Delaney from Secret Sanctuary.
It's raining again.
Is it always raining in California?
What the hell?
Yeah.
So you guys are in the same neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'm fine. Happy to be here.
It's raining
Glad to
in
have
the
you
East Coast, too.
This guy right here, we've had on the show before, just absolute superstar in the comic book world. One of my favorite artists of all time, Mr. Jason Fabok in the house. How's it going, Jason?
Good. Thanks for having us. Good to see everybody again.
Yep.
So glad to have you here. And then last but not least, we have producer extraordinaire, writer, former DC president, CCO. I mean, just the resume speaks for itself.
Barbecue cook.
Yeah, barbecue cook. We got Mr. Geoff Johns in the house. How's it going, Jeff?
Hey, guys. Great to see y'all again.
We're so glad to have you here. And this all came about because of a very, very special night during MegaCon. We all attended a Ghost Machine dinner, which was really cool. And I just want to say how cool it was for your whole team to do that. That was just... And you guys that were in, Jeff was not there, but the four of us was. And Dan, what did it mean to you to be there?
Oh, it was just fantastic, to have the opportunity just to kind of break bread and have a glass of wine and talk about what is a super exciting project. And quite frankly, it just to see a new IP come along and see these creators, taking this kind of opportunity and risk, et cetera, and doing some really cool stuff. It's just exciting. So it was, Siri's talking. So it was, it was absolutely fantastic. And the guys were super gracious, couldn't have been nicer. It was just super casual and easygoing. Just had a phenomenal night.
It was fun. I have to say, because Jay and I and all of us didn't know what to expect. I sat next to Matt, which was really fun. And Jay and I didn't know what to expect. And because it's like, we don't know. We don't know how big it's going to be. We didn't know. And everybody was so cool. And I was glad I was at your guys' table. It was really fun.
I say we definitely lucked out. We just had all of our favorite people at the same table. It was really cool.
By the way, I was going to say a glass of wine. It was like 5 glasses of wine.
Yeah.
We had a great recommendation. I tried that you recommended. It was really good.
Camus.
Yeah, it was very good. Yeah,
anyone who likes red wine, Camus.
That's right. We showed a little clip there at the beginning, and I've got another one if we have time later to show a little bit about Ghost Machine. And so, we know you guys from a lot of the DC side of things. Of course, this is a Batman statue collecting channel. You can see behind us, we all love Batman related things, and you guys have had such a big impact in that world, in the DC world. And now you're going to take all of that incredible talent and history, and you're moving it into a new direction with Ghost Machine. Can you guys tell us a little bit about? And we've got a lot of questions to go through tonight, but can you tell us a little bit about how this project came about? Like, what is Ghost Machine?
Jay, I'll let you start. You can go.
So Ghost Machine is a brand new creator-owned and controlled company. We, the creators, own the company itself. We are doing creator-owned books or independent books. We really have set out to create new characters, new universes, new ideas, and really just explore different genres in comics. But each of the genres we're kind of exploring still has a little bit of that superhero, kind of edge to it, or whatever you'd say. It's something that I think all of us have, you kind of dream about taking a chance and doing some independent books or creating a new idea, new ideas and new characters. But the fact that it grew from, hey, let's do an independent book with us, with Rook, and Jeff with Geiger and Junkyard Joe, to grow into a company. For me, it was a little surprising that was the direction we were going, but it really just evolved and kind of naturally came into being, which is kind of, it's been really cool to see the growth of this. And it's the right move for what we want to do. We're able to control what we're doing. We're able to control everything from the paper stock that we're using, and the printing, and what we want to do on covers, but also down to, it's like, hey, if somebody draws something really cool, we can put it on a t-shirt, and we can have it up on our website and be selling it as fairly quickly. And so we have that creative freedom. We also have that business freedom, that business control, and it's something that we're all really excited for. And we're getting ready for our launch of Rook, Redcoat, and Geiger on April 3rd. And so we're leading up to that point, and we're trying to get the word out. We're trying to really show readers that we have something special here, and we want them to join along with us and get in on the ground floor for a really cool ride.
Absolutely. And I do want to mention, you mentioned one of the dates, but also I wanted to mention March 11th, which is the FOC date for Geiger, Redcoat, and Rook. And then the launch on April 3rd, which is dubbed Ghost Machine Day, which is very exciting. And of course, guys, check out your local comic book shops for those. Order ahead of time, especially like right now. I feel like this is the coolest time to get in on this, because you're talking about issues number 1. It's like, that's what you want to collect. That's what collectors love to collect, and get that very first story and figure out what these characters are all about. Which is very, very exciting stuff. So, Jeff, how excited are you about this rollout? Are you pumped?
I'm beyond pumped. Jay and I were just going over some stuff today, but it's great. Like, I can't wait for people to see see Rook Exodus 1, see all the books, but Rook Exodus 1, it's 48 pages. It's Jay's brilliant art, and it really is it's not just like it's not just a number 1. It's a doorway to this new universe of characters, and I can't wait till you guys have statues of Rook and Direwolf and everybody on yourselves. Like, that's what I'm waiting.
That'll be cool.
Jay certainly designed them this way. And I know Jay always thinks about that stuff, because there's vehicles. I mean, we have so many pages and pages of designs of characters and vehicles and stuff. But I'm excited because we have these 3 books, Geiger, Redcoat, and Rook, coming out the same day. And they're all very different. They're all beautiful. I think they all share great stories and beautiful artwork, but they're all just very different stories and worlds and characters, and it's going to be fun to see those 3 come out the same day, and people can kind of compare them and read them and take them in. And I think it's 100 pages total between all 3 books for,
wow.
I think they're $3.90. They are $3.99 each. So we kept pricing to a minimum, and we gave them cardstock covers and extra pages, and we try to make it the best kind of value we could possibly do and create. But I can't wait for people to just read them. I'm dying for people to read them, because it's hard to like talk about like, oh, hey, it's a guy with a helmet and he controls crows. Yeah. Like, okay, like what is that? And when you read the story though and get to know these people, and become more familiar with it, that's when it gets exciting for me, is when people can actually read the stories and see all the art, and it all comes together into an experience.
That's awesome. Well, we were lucky enough to get some copies, in advance at that the MegaCon dinner, which is really cool. The metal covers, which is really awesome.
Yeah, those metal covers are cool.
So neat. And
you guys ever see those movies where like a guy gets shot and he had like his diary in his pocket and
that's right.
Yeah, that's how
the bullet.
Metal covers are going to be like I have one like in my jacket.
That's right. Well, like I said, we've got a promo video to show everybody here in just a bit. But basically what we did is we each took about 3 or 4 questions, and we're just going to kind of go around the table. And so Eric, you got the first set of questions. So if you guys want to get started, let's just get started. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, so I had the chance to see Jason at New York Comic Con. We spoke. I think we also spoke, obviously, at MegaCon. And, you were pitching me the story. I found it absolutely fascinating. And I thought maybe, I based my questions basically around what we discussed. I thought it'd be fun to share it with everybody else that was, listening now. So I'm going to go to the first question. So it's been over a decade since a group of well-established creators moved from DC to Image, like Chris mentioned, to start their own title. Was there any inspiration or talks with Todd McFarlane about the move to Image Comics? I'm pretty sure he praised you guys for making that jump.
He did. There's a quote I have. I assume you have it, Jason.
Yeah.
You have the quote?
No, I don't know.
Oh, so yeah. So Todd told Eric Stevenson, who's a publisher of Image, he's like, and referring to like this generation, what took them so long? And I love that. And I was like, that's right. What did take us so long? What did take? Like, it's been 30 years since Todd and the team left and created Image, and there hasn't been kind of a generation of creators that have, come together to do something like that. And so, obviously, they're an inspiration, and it did take us a long time. I'm glad we did it when we did it because of all the experience that we all have, and I'm very grateful for all the stuff we did. Batman 3 Jokers wouldn't exist if we did it a little earlier. But yeah, Todd, that was the quote I got, and I love that quote.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
All right. Let's start from the beginning. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. So, Jason, we spoke, like I said, at New York Comic Con. So you had mentioned to me that the characters and the art were created when you were younger, maybe even like a child. So with this being such a personal and passionate project, how does it feel to see them come to fruition, and where do you see the future of Ghost Machine headed, or what's your ultimate goal? Obviously, sky's the limit, but where would you like it to go?
Yeah. By the way, I'm just going to mention this. My phone's going to die in like a couple seconds, but I got my wife's phone. So if I all of a sudden disappear, I'll be back.
No worries.
But with Rook especially was an idea I'd been working on for quite a number of years. It goes back to before I even was professional in the comics, but it was just mostly just character designs and whatnot, and pitching it to Geoff, and he just kind of took it and just created this whole universe out of these basic designs I had. And so, it's really cool to see it, on the page, and being able to read that first issue was really special. And we actually just sent it off to the printer, or it's going off to the printer very soon. And, with what I'd like to see, I don't know. I want to see, I would love it to hit 100 issues and just keep going. Like, I would love to build a mythology and these characters out, and just see where it could go from there. And You know, we just want to make, right now our goal is just to make the best comic book we can, and you know, and we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, it's really an exciting time. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really inspiring, especially for young artists. I have a daughter that's, you know, into art, and it was just, I found it really fascinating that you said, like, you know, this was something that I started when I was, you know, almost, I don't know if you were, how old you were, but the way I took it, like you were almost as a kid. So to see these, you know, come to life, I think is really cool.
You know, one of the other things, Eric, we're trying to do is, you know, when I was a kid, like my dream was to write the Flash comic. You know, that was it. And that was kind of like, that was kind of where it stopped. You know, I was like, if I could write the Flash comic, that was like the ultimate dream. And I did get to do that, and it was fantastic. And I remember when I left, my dad knew it was my dream. He's like, well, what now? And I said, I don't know. And and I want to kind of have Ghost Machine be an example to other creators out there that being at another person's, you know, company like Marvel or DC isn't the last stop. It's a stop for sure, because I think people who love comics want to work on Batman and Spider-Man and stuff. It's definitely a stop, but it's not the end stop. I think the next stop for people has got to go beyond that and do your own thing. Like we're doing, and like Image did, like the original founders of Image. Like it really is. We want to remind people that that's the stop. The stop is not to work for other people. The stop is to create your own stuff.
Yeah. Well, that kind of goes into actually my next question. So, whatever you can talk about, but you guys had mentioned that you're looking to make this even bigger, bring in even more well-known artists than what we already have. With so many people jumping from DC to Image, you know, we're going to lose a lot of artists in the meantime, say working on Batman or a series like that. Is there possibly like a collaboration between the two publishers, Image and DC, like maybe like a crossover type thing that we might see? Or
it's so early to talk about something like that because we're just getting started. Right now, we're really focused on working on our characters and our books, and that's what the foreseeable future is for us.
Okay, but like I said, Image isn't the end goal. You're still going to be working DC.
Image is no, Ghost Machine's it. This is it.
Oh, really? So you guys just made the jump to Ghost Machine, and that's it?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
We're done with. We did our Batman story with Batman 3 Jokers.
Okay.
And it was awesome, by the way.
For us, that was a hell of a story to go out on. Like for us, for Jay and I to be able to say, like, you know, Gary and I did Doomsday Clock, and that was our kind of swan song. And Jay and I got to do Batman 3 Jokers, and that was our swan song. I'm happy with those swan songs.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right. Next question. So maybe this be for Jason, or actually both you and Geoff. So Jason, you had mentioned that like the series is like a massive correlation between like Lord of the Rings meets Harry Potter meets like Game of Thrones, like meets almost like any fantasy series title that's out there, which sounded really exciting. Is there any, I know, like I said, it's probably early, but is there any plans to like possibly bring it to television or film?
I mean, that would be really cool if that happened. I think that's, you know, a longer term goal, you know, to see it go that way. And one of the things I really, when Geoff and I were, when we were really starting to talk about the books and the things that we wanted to do, is I kind of said, you know, I brought up the point that it seemed like a lot of indie books were just Netflix pitches, right? Like it was a lot of the stories were very simple costume designs, almost like they were like storyboards for something that could be made on a budget at Netflix and I said, I remember, I don't know who said this, but I heard somebody quote and say about how comic books, there's no budget to it. Like, what if, you know, when Jack Kirby created the Fantastic Four, he thought of Galactus, and it's like he wasn't thinking like, oh man, like how are they ever going to make this into a movie one day? It was, no, we can do whatever we want, you know, like we can create giant, guys who, you know, these monsters that eat planets, and with the Fantastic Four have to fight this guy, and it was the same thing with Rook. I kind of joked and said, like, I want to make it so that every issue if you took that issue and actually made it into like a TV show or a movie, it would cost like $200 million just to do that one issue, because there's so much going on, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I want to make comic books is the medium that I love. And so it's like, I want this to be a great comic book series first and foremost. And it would be great if it turns into film, TV, like that would be a dream come true. I mean, I grew up wanting to be a film director. And that was like a goal. I used to make a lot of movies and stuff as a kid. And I've joked, I said, Geoff, like one day if we ever make a Rook movie, like I want to go and just live on the set, like I would love to just have that experience in my life to complete that goal. But first and foremost, we want to create a great comic book series. Because that's what this is we're a comic book company first and foremost. And, and you set your goals on that. And I think doing the best that you can with that, you will be rewarded as time goes by, as things grow and as they, as our company gets bigger and all this kind of more opportunities will be unlocked. And so, but it's really exciting. I mean, those are things that you're kind of dreaming for, but we want to make good comic books for comic book fans first and foremost. That's our goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very well said.
When we spoke at New York, the way you pitched it to me was, so for the people that are, not familiar with Ghost Machine and these characters. So it's characters that can control like larger animals, creatures with their helmets, their minds. We had originally spoke. You said you wanted to make like these animals like the size of dinosaurs, like huge creatures.
Yeah.
And then you ended up having to scale it back a little, which I found interesting. Maybe even for like future artists out there, because it wasn't translating well onto the comic book pages. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Rook, our hero characters are called wardens, and so they have these masks that resemble a different like animals. Like Rook has the bird mask, and Direwolf has the wolf mask, and we have Swine who can control warthogs, and our villain over top. But you can guess which from that picture what animals he controls. But the cool thing about this planet is just the fact that they have all this technology that can control everything from nature, to plant life, all this sort of things, and they use these different helmets and these masks to do it. And so our warden characters, our heroes, and our villains have these masks that can control the animals. And one of the cool things we kind of discussed early on is how if they were on this planet and this planet was being genetically modified, what if some of the animals, what if the atmosphere or the technology that they were using, what if some of these animals got really big? What if the alpha predators became real alpha predators? And so it kind of it's kind of got like that prehistoric kind of vibe. And so you have bears that are like 20 feet tall, the size of a house. And you get to see that in the first issue, and giant warthogs. But then there's other creatures that are smaller, like these Rook's birds are like a normal size of a crow, and like they're normal crows and stuff like that. So we're playing with that concept and that mythology, and Geoff put some little hints in the first issue about how those different things have happened on this planet, and I'm sure we're going to get into more of that as we go through and reveal more.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting. So yeah, that was my set of questions. Thanks for answering them.
Thanks, Eric. I want to give a shout out to Polly's Hideout. He says, Geoff Johns, your Green Lantern run was the best saga I've read ever. Thank you so much for pulling my favorite hero out of such a hole I thought it'd be impossible to recover. So I had to share that.
My pleasure. I like pulling characters and heroes out of dark holes like Aquaman and Green Lantern. It's really fun to do that. It's funny because Green Lantern, Jay and I talk a lot about my Green Lantern run because Rook is the closest thing to Green Lantern I've done since Green Lantern. Where you have these different characters with these helmets, and they all have personalities and desires and fears, and it's a lot like the different lanterns. Where I loved writing the Lantern Space Saga, and this has a similar thing where it's grounded in emotion, but it's epic in scale and scope and technology. Like there's tech that controls weather and tech that controls animal and tech. They had this whole world under complete control, and then it just broke. And now everyone's scavenging for the technology to control what they can in a world that's out of control. which is how I feel about our world. And
without question.
Yeah. And so, you know, Rook left Earth to go someplace where he felt he could have control over things he didn't. And now he's once again finds himself in a place that's even more out of control. And he's got to decide, like we open up the first issue and he's scavenging for parts, building his own rocket to get the hell off that planet. Like his whole mission is just to leave because it's so beyond messed up. He doesn't want to stay anymore. And he resents the birds that he controls, but he has to use them. And his only ally is another warden, this guy Swine, who uses his pigs to sniff out parts like pigs would truffles, you know, in the forest. And so they've been, you know, putting together this kind of, you know, junk rocket that they, fingers crossed, will make it through the atmosphere once they finish it. And we go from there. But it's a story about escape, we talk a lot about our instinct of fight or flight, which is in all of us. I don't know if you guys have a bad day, you're like, I'm just going to quit this job. That's your fight instinct going, like, get the hell out of there. Yep. And then you kind of get resolved and be like, I got to resolve this. So that's your fight instinct, just saying stay and fight. And so we have a lot of push pull with that fight flight instinct in Rook and in all the characters, because it is a lot harder to stay and fight than it is to fly away. And one of the things Rook says, he looks at the birds and he's like, you know, it's powerful to be able to fly away. Like, to be able to just fly away it gives you freedom, a little arrogance maybe too.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, you just get to they're lucky they just get to go in this. When you're connected to these helmets, you get some of their thoughts back. It's not just one way. Sometimes they're entering your head and it messes with you. And he's like, you know, he keeps screaming them to, like, when he's in danger, the birds keep saying fly away. They don't really understand he can't, right? And so he deals with a lot of this. It's called instinct influence, that it's a two-way street. And a lot of the wardens struggle with this kind of influence that the birds or their respective animals have on them through the helmets.
I just want to congratulate you. Just listening to this story that you were telling us, like, you could tell how much thought has been put into this, and you could just feel like, it gives me goosebumps to think of how good the storytelling is going to be with this series. And when you mix the art, and it just to me, it sounds like it's going to be a massive hit for you guys, because everybody can relate to what you're talking about. You know, it's like, you might not always be able to relate to what Superman's like or what Batman's like, but what you're saying, everybody can relate to those things. And I think it's very powerful. So I just want to applaud you. I just feel like this is going to be something special.
Thanks. You know, there's also something interesting, Chris. You go on to base levels, like we talked about, like, everyone has a favorite animal. You know, it's like, why do you like a wolf, or why do you like a lion? Or it's because you either see yourself in that animal, or you want to see yourself in that animal, or there's attributes in that animal that you reflect. And so it's kind of fun to, on that base level, because you're like, okay, choose your animal. Who would you choose? What mask would you pull down and put on? You know, would it be a rhino? Would it be a ram? Like, what is it? And everyone has, the fun thing is, as we introduce these other characters, they all have these different personalities. And it is like a Green Lantern, where as long as you can overcome fear, you can use the ring. And so you can put yourself in that position, unlike some characters that are born with powers.
Yeah.
Just awesome. Let's go over to Jeff Delaney's questions. He's got a couple questions for you guys.
Sure. I was not at the MegaCon dinner, so
Boo.
Good
we tried to get him over there. He's in California, so we tried to get him over there.
Wait, Jeff, where in California are you?
I'm in Newport Beach.
Okay, so you've got the downpour as well then.
Yeah. But big fan of both of you guys, and I just have a couple of questions. I noticed on the Image website that Ghost Machine has a T+ rating, meaning material appropriate for teenagers and up. And I'm wondering if that was is that a conscious effort to keep the material suitable for that age range, or do you plan on publishing some books with more mature themes and graphics for an adult-only audience?
Well, Jay, do you want me to start this and then toss it to you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because we talk about this a lot, Jeff, actually. Look, Rook's design that even a 10-year-old kid could read it, right? We want people to be able to read these books. And so for the most part, our books are, you know, the themes we think are sophisticated, the emotions are real. It can get graphic but not graphically violent or over the top in a book like Rook, or like some of the other books we're doing. You know, the horror stuff will be a little bit more adult, but we're not out there trying to do, you know, rated R material. That's just not really what we want to create. But we're hoping it hits all markets. But Rook specifically, Jay was very conscious of even language is that Rook is just accessible to the biggest audience it can be.
Right.
Since you're talking, you mentioned the horror aspect. You guys care if I show the your new horror line here real quick? Okay.
Do it.
From the creators of Blackest Night comes the epic horror series, HYDE STREET.
We call our horror universe HYDE STREET, and also the series that debuts a brand new generation of horror.
Geoff Johns and the newest creator to join Ghost Machine, Ivan Reis, launch Ghost Machine's horror universe.
Eu sou Ivan Reis, estou realmente ansioso em fazer parte da Ghost Machine. HYDE Street is not only a typical horror story. Of course, we have scary moments, but it is about your humanity. What do you make you human?
HYDE STREET is a place in any town or any city or country or remote place in the world. HYDE STREET's a seemingly good place, but there are some dark tensions designed with it. And there are people you'll meet on HYDE STREET that you'll regret meeting.
That's the beauty of this book. It's not about one character. It's about a story that will connect all characters and all the universe in one.
The series is building the mythology character by character and story by story, and it all adds up to an epic adventure unlike any other horror book out there. The scary thing about HYDE STREET is you don't find yourself on HYDE STREET. HYDE STREET finds you.
Definitely creepy.
I was gonna say, how great does that look, and how great is Ivan? Oh, we love Ivan.
So good, right? So good. That HYDE STREET's like, I don't want to spoil it too much, but there's all these crazy characters like Mr. X-Ray and Pranky, the world's most dangerous Boy Scout. One of the opening scenes of Pranky is like he offers to help an old lady cross the street, and that poor lady.
Poor lady.
I love it. I love it. Go ahead and go with your next question, Geoff.
That looks so cool.
I love it.
About the horror stuff. That's cool. What is the most significant roadblock you guys have encountered in taking on a project this expansive outside of the big two publishers?
I mean, I can definitely speak to that, but
Yeah, go for it. Because Jeff's the one who's, I mean, he's really spearheading, and he's really the leader of our group, and he does so much work behind the scenes to get this thing going, and you know, he keeps a lot of the, I think, the stresses of the business stuff away from guys like me, because I just don't want to know. I need to focus on work. So, Geoff, you talk to this one.
Honestly, one of the most fun things is because we can Zoom now, right? Like Zoom, like this is awesome. Like before, pre-pandemic, it was like I was like Zoom, like just call me, like. But now, like everyone, you know, we Zoom, like you Zoom naturally, so we can all see each other, and I mean, Jay and the group of us, we Zoomed a lot. Jay, Bryan Hitch, and Gary Frank and I were Zooming multiple times a week for a year and a half when we were building this company at first, before we all came on board. But I think the biggest challenge really was to make sure we were building the proper infrastructure. I've run TV shows like Stargirl, you know, I ran that for 3 seasons, and I had in Atlanta, I had to manage a huge budget, 250 crew, cast, you know, writers and everything. And a lot of that gave me the skills to know what to look for in the business side and how to temper it, but also how to kind of, I think the biggest challenge for me, and it wasn't a challenge, it was just something to do, is educate everybody else and bring them into the business fold. So Jay understands what the business is, what business is, how things work, and the appropriate, like as a creator, all we do is kind of sit at home and work, and you can get in your head too much and project things or think certain things. And I think getting a wider look at the world through what the business is, it's an education. And it was, I thought, really fun to talk about it and expand everybody's, viewpoint. Because when you're working on the business, there's certain things you should worry about. There's certain things you learn not to worry about, even if something goes wrong. One of the big things I say is there's no emergency in comics, right? I mean, unless it's really 911, there is no 911. So I don't want, so the appropriate reaction to things, right, is that you can get so worked up over this stuff because we care so much, but what's the appropriate reaction? Because you usually, if there's a curveball, you catch it and you figure out how to throw it back. If there's someone makes a mistake, you learn from it and move on. Because again, unless you're calling 911, it's just not 911. But the challenging thing is just all of us we're across the globe, from Copenhagen to Windsor to LA to Brazil, like we're Italy, England, we're literally global. And the challenging thing is to bring everyone together and make sure that we're all, and it just happened because we all know each other and work together really well, but that we're all on the same path forward. And the path doesn't have to be this wide. It's very wide, but we're all heading to that same direction. We all have the same compass. But it's all a challenge, but it's all a good challenge. Life, like you want this challenge. I want this challenge. Like, bring this challenge on. This is a good challenge.
Cool.
You seem like the perfect person to lead this. I mean, it just really, it sounds like it's in really good hands.
Thanks. It's all of us are doing it together. So
yeah.
So I'm going to skip my third question, but I just wanted to say to Geoff, I'm a big Stargirl fan.
Oh, thanks.
I was very dubious at first because I'm actually a huge Starman fan.
Cool. Me too.
The series from the early 90s was phenomenal. Yeah. So I was a little dubious coming into Stargirl, but we watched that as a family and we all loved it. I'm also a big Justice Society fan. I'm very into Golden Age comics. So to see some of those characters brought to TV was phenomenal. So I just wanted to thank you for that series. It was really awesome.
Thanks so much. Thanks very much. We really put everything we had in. And I love that. Like, I really wanted, I like when people go into, it's kind of why we're like working on minor characters like Aquaman or whatever, but Stargirl, people are like, it's going to have good action. And I'm like, we're going to have the best action out of all these shows. Right. Like, that was our goal, was to really deliver something special. And I'm glad that your family watched it together, because it was designed for that. It was designed for parents and kids to enjoy together.
It's very awesome. All right, Dan, you got some questions.
I do have some questions, but I'm going to pivot off of my original question.
Oh, okay.
So, based on the conversation so far, guys, first of all, thank you for even agreeing to be peppered by questions by us, the Rogues Gallery Live. I mean, this is just awesome. So one of the note that I just made here was, it seems like a lot of the story is technology intersecting with nature, right? Technology intersecting with organics. Do you guys lean on technical advisors to help in ensuring that those themes that you're introducing, the technologies that you're introducing, how those things might actually work, are introduced into the storytelling? And the writer who comes to mind for me is Michael Crichton, right? It's one of the reasons why his stories were so compelling, is because they just came right to the edge of reality. Do you guys do that at all?
There's actually a futurist I've talked to about technology in depth about it. And I mean, but the thematic of the nature versus tech is like, how connected are we to nature versus technology as a society anymore?
Yeah.
And it depends on the individual, but I think as a whole, we're a lot more plugged into our phones and our computers than we are into the trees outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked a lot about thematics in that and what it meant, and and what control really looked like, and how dangerous technology will get as it continues to evolve, and the effect on people, right? It does affect you. So we wanted to have those helmets have some negative effects. And Jay and I, we talked about a big one that we're working on, a big story that deals with that in this. But yeah, we wanted to do research. But most of my stories, I always do research, whether it's history like REDCOAT or tech. But my real research is just being alive, is talking to people about what they struggle with, and then you use that metaphor. It's something that's a metaphor for that. Like that to me, like finding that universal. Jay and I talk about this universal emotional resonance, the struggle of man, how do you fix the world? Well, maybe you just leave it behind, right? Maybe that's how you fix it. Like it's so anyway.
So so follow up. So to try, to work or to get to be successful in achieving that resonance that you're talking about with the audience, is it front of mind for you to incorporate contemporary themes like AI, right? It seems like there's another 200 AI stories in the news every single day. Is that important to you?
You know what, the thematics, maybe not literally, you know, I don't like doing literal. For me in the storytelling, literal, like, hey, let's have AI, you know, take over, just because there are 1,000 stories like that already, and really good ones like Terminator, you know. So or Matrix, and we're trying to do something very different. We're very different and more personalized here. So we don't really deal a lot with like AI infiltrating. Like, it's not about AI, it's about the individual and how they use technology.
Yeah, gotcha. Awesome. Well, thank you for that. And just one more question. And so this one completely different aspect of the company or the business, and that is, how early in the process or in the development of this company are you guys thinking about merchandising and licensing and those kinds of things, right? I assume. Oh yeah, you guys are great about the merch.
Got a hat. He's got a shirt. I mean, we are. We actually have a storefront. Yeah, Rook actually.
Available on the website, I saw.
We have a storefront already that has hats and merch and stuff.
It's down in the description. If you guys are interested, you can click that link. It'll take you to their store. So many cool things already on there, and I'm assuming you'll continue to add stuff as you guys go.
We will. And we also have something that really excites you guys coming up from a pretty big and super awesome collectible company that's going to be announced soon, of one of our characters. And we have some other deal we just made with another company that's a really something I never would have thought that will probably be announced very soon as well. But yeah, we're starting to get into that merchandising.
Awesome.
You know, it's fun. Like and this logo also, we talk about it. It means a lot to us. It's not just like, oh, it's another comic company logo. This logo to us means like it's our company. It's Ghost Machine. That the name came from the phrase "ghost in the machine," which was about like the spirit and the mind. And then programmers said, you know, when a program didn't work right, it was a ghost in the machine. They couldn't explain it, and they couldn't control it. And that's who we are. Like, we feel like we're the passion that you can't quantify. We're the ghosts, and we're in the machine making great content. But that's where the name comes from. So, and this thing to me, it means, like, you take someone like Rob Leigh, who's our letterer, and I think people often take lettering for granted, but I know bad lettering, and it can ruin a book. And when you have somebody who cares so much like Rob, especially on Rook, when you look at it, all the sound effects, and then Rob also always puts notes in columns, and he cares about it. Then he's giving like his perspective on certain business aspects. He's been involved in a lot of stuff. Like, Rob's potential is completely unlocked being at Ghost Machine, because he's not just the letterer, he's the master letterer, but also a big part of the company, of the culture, of who we are, and like, you know, helping to mentor some of the newer folks too. It's so valuable. So this logo is about the people I love. Like, this logo is the 20 people that are part of this company that are being able to do everything that they want to do and be everything they want to be, and not be put in a box and be rewarded for it. So hell yeah, we're going to put this on shirts and hats.
That's fantastic. Well, we're glad to hear it.
Yeah,
awesome.
Cool logo.
Thank you, guys.
It's funny sitting at that dinner, and I don't know if you guys felt it too, but like, it just felt like you guys were already family. Like, it just felt like there was already that camaraderie between all of you guys, and I don't know. I picked up on that, so I thought that was really cool.
That happened in New York, right, Jay? Like, that was like when we spent, because we had a summit in New York where we all came together for the first time right before we announced it. And in those, I mean, it was quick. It was like within 24 hours, we were like, it was so great. We had this room at this hotel. We stayed at this hotel pretty far from the show because we didn't want anyone to see us because we hadn't announced it yet. And we had all these great dinners and like fun times. And I remember there was a moment we were in the room together, and I was like, guys, there's nobody that's outside this room that can say anything about what we do. And that was so powerful.
It's cool.
You know, because all these other companies, they have like layer upon layer upon layer upon owner upon owner. Almost like the giant in the clouds. You're like, well, when are they going to sell the company? We're going to get another giant in the clouds. So.
Absolutely. Well, I get to ask my question now. We were talking about merchandising. Of course, we are all statue collectors, and Jason, I know you've worked with Prime One quite a bit. I think I've got 5 of your pieces in my collection, including my favorite, which is Tech 1000 back there. I've got Batman here. I've got your Penguin back there. I just absolutely love all the pieces that you've made with them. Would you guys like to branch out at some point and see yourself doing some high-end collectibles as well, not just the shirts and stuff, but also doing the 3D art, the statues? And if so, do you have somebody in mind that you would love to work with?
I mean, for myself, yeah, I would love. I'm a collector, and I love that kind of thing. I love designing that stuff. When I worked with Prime One on those statues, and it's funny. I think I don't know if I was telling Chris this at the MegaCon dinner, but there was in my garage there was like 12 boxes of all the statues, and my wife every day would just come and look at them, and we're like, we got to find a place to put these. And so I called up my grandma, and I'm like, Grandma, can I? You got a big barn? Can I just store all these so I can build my dream museum down the road?
That's what I did, Jason. That right here. That's what I did. I got my dream museum right here.
Yeah, I gotta build a new house if I want one of those museum rooms in there. But yeah, I that's a big goal for me, and I'm sure it is for all the other creators of the company as well. And that kind of thing though, it takes time, because we're really like, we're starting off at the ground floor here, and we know that we have to build that audience. And by building that, to build that audience, we have to put out books consistently at a really high quality, so that people, they're coming to the book monthly, and they're getting invested in these characters, and they want to read the next one. They want to read the next one, or they want to pick up the next trade. And they, that's really what our goal is right now. It's like, we're coming out with our number ones. They're great jumping off points, getting on the ground floor of these brand new characters and these worlds. And we want to grow that with each and every issue. And our, I've joked, I would love to see Rook hit 100 issues. I think that's the same thing with like GEIGER and REDCOAT. We want to see these things grow and maybe even outlive us, grow beyond us. But that takes time. And right now it's just, we're going an issue at a time, and let's make the best books we can. And let's really, hopefully the readers will really resonate, and they'll want to come back each and every month to read a new issue and see what happens to these characters. And then eventually, I think I do see, I love to kind of envision where I'm going and where things are going. And so I've set goals for myself like that. And it's like, yeah, I would love to see a Rook movie one day. I can already see it, and I'd love to see statues and toys and action figures and maybe a kid's cartoon or something. Like, I would love to see all that stuff, but it starts with a simple idea. Let's do a comic book, and let's grow it naturally as it goes. You can't rush that kind of a thing, because we have to build the audience that wants to buy the potential, that gets connected to the character, and then wants to potentially buy that stuff down the road as well.
Yeah, and look, and that stuff is also like, when I talk about the symbol of Ghost Machine and what the logo means to me, I'm very sincere about it. And Rook's the same way. It's like, I don't want people just to get a Rook statue because I think it's cool. It is cool, but I want people to get it because they're like, they understand, like, Rook's all about, when it's fight or flight, you got to take a stand and fight. Like, I think that he's going to matter. He's going to mean something. He's going to remind people to just be strong. And that symbol of who he is, and that character, and I'm hoping that resonates. To me, that's why we're doing it, to create something that goes beyond the cool and becomes a symbol of something.
Just alongside that, with like the approval process, like before, would you have to like get approval from like DC to approve the image that you would create with Prime One? Or like, now that you own your own property, is it a lot simpler to free all that mess up?
Oh yeah.
When we're working with a licensee right now that has a license with some other company, and they're working with us. They're like, what other approvals do you guys have to do? We're done. Like,
done. Yeah.
They're like, well, we can get this out. Like, they can get it out literally 6 months earlier.
That's awesome.
Because we're just able to move quick. Like, wow. It's like, Jay can literally say, hey, this cover came out today. People love it. Someone asked for a shirt, and we can literally have it ready to go that day.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's crazy.
Okay,
Like we were
sure.
talking about at that dinner, we were talking about just how many steps and how many how many red tape you have to go through to get anything approved these days, especially just on our side of collectibles and stuff. So it's really awesome to hear that you guys don't have to necessarily deal with that stuff, which is really refreshing from a collecting side also, which is great.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question? So there's 3 separate character titles, correct? And then there's also a Ghost Machine title. Is that like all of them under one story, or how's that working?
So Ghost Machine was #1 was a one shot that came out January 24th, and that introduced all the different universes and characters. So
Okay.
we've got like the Unnamed, which is that guy on the left, Redcoat and the robot Junkyard Joe, and Geiger with his 2-headed wolf. That's kind of part of one universe of genre heroes. And then Rook Exodus on the right there with Rook and Direwolf is the book that Jay and I are working on. That is its own thing. But Ghost Machine #1 was a book that came out and introduced a lot of these characters and concepts and just kind of teased out what the books were. And now the titles come out of that, and Geiger and Redcoat are monthlies, and Rook Exodus is coming out in chapters.
Okay.
So we think about it kind of like, you think of a DC, and under DC you have Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman. Under Ghost Machine you have all of these other titles. So think of it like that. It's like that's the way I'm hearing you, right?
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
Okay. We have time for maybe a couple more questions. Our friend Jeff Morris was unable to attend tonight, and so Matt Martin's going to ask a few of his questions. Matt, if you would maybe pick one or two.
By the way, that name Matt Martin is such a good superhero name. It's such a
the double M, right? The double M.
It's like that's and like just it's like a Matt Martin. It sounds like you should be a detective or at least a police officer. Like
Eminem.
You got to put me in a book.
That's a good name.
One of the questions I would like to ask is, like, when you get hired, Geoff, when a movie studio or TV studio says, "Hey, we want you to write this story," come in hypothetically, Aquaman, Green Lantern, whatever. Do they have like, okay, this is the story, we want you to write it. We definitely want like this villain. This is going to be your villain, type thing, or do they give you, okay, hey, what's your idea? What's your ideas to put in this movie?
Well, in the case of Aquaman, it was James Wan already wanted to base it on my book. So I already had the story. So it was pretty easy. We just broke the story and wrote like a 60-page treatment for the movie. I haven't really, it's also like I'm a little unique. And if it's a superhero thing, like people aren't going to really tell me what villain to use or what to do. They're going to be like, wait, what do you think the story should be for this? But there's been like when I worked on Wonder Woman with Patty, like there was a story already. She wanted, Ares was the bad guy, and so there are certain things she wanted in that. And when we rewrote that script together, that's the job. But I also feel like on a film, my job is to service the director. Like you're really, as a writer, you're there for their vision. So as a writer, when I was working with Patty or James, I wrote on those movies. It was to create a great story, but also really what they wanted as a director. It was their vision. Cool. On the TV side, it's opposite, right? The writer's in charge of TV. Which is why I like TV. And Stargirl was really for me, it was kind of the epitome of that.
Cool. And then another question would be, when you're creating a story / characters, do you see it, oh, this would be a good for TV, or a movie, or does that even, at that point when you're just creating and writing the story, you're not even thinking about that?
I mean, you can't help but think about it, only because there's so many adaptations. But like Redcoat, we just want to tell a great comic book.
Yeah.
And honestly, we were at some point, Brian, were like, oh, it'd be such a cool show, and then later, like, oh, it'd be a cool movie, and you're kind of like, well, either one. But really, we're focused on, like Jay said, the comic. We want to make it a great comic book. Like if something happens, whether it's a game or a cartoon or whatever, that's great. But we love comics, and this is what we're doing. We're doing this for the comic books. Cool. Whatever happens organically, much like this company formed, it'll happen.
Cool. And then one last question, because I know when you guys are creating the company, probably you're both bouncing names off of each other. Oh, we should get Ivan to be on the team, or whoever, to be on the team. Was there one person you gave the pitch to and they were like, I don't know, I gotta think about it, type thing like that?
Honestly, the only thing that ever held anyone back was a contract at another company because they're under contract.
Yep.
But their contract came up, and Ivan joined the company. So
yeah, cool deal. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man.
Let's probably have time for one more question real quick. David Abar in the chat is asking Jason about, and this is a near and dear to my heart because I have been collecting original. I got to show you my David Finches up here.
Oh, wow. Cool.
I've got my Scarecrow. These are all originals by him he's been doing for me, but I thought you would maybe appreciate them for sure.
I always loved his Scarecrow. I always loved his Scarecrow. His Scarecrow design was so cool. All of them are great.
They're all awesome. Look at that! Wow.
And then I just picked up this MegaCon, his Man Bat.
Cool.
He drew that when Neil Adams passed away.
Oh, that's wicked.
In tribute for him, but had to show you that wall real quick.
Yeah, that's great.
But anyway, he's asking about if any of the stuff is going to be available for purchase down the road.
Yeah, the thing with a lot of my art is I do a lot of it digitally. There are a lot of, I'll do the covers and some major splash pages and stuff traditionally, just because I find that it works it works better actually when you're drawing something bigger instead of drawing a splash page digitally. It looks different compared to how you would draw it on a piece of paper. So I'll usually draw it on the paper instead, but I'm actually with a lot of my art recently, I've decided to kind of keep a lot of it because I sold so much of my stuff that I did early on. And now I'm kind of thinking like, well, I want to keep some of this stuff and maybe hand it off to my kids one day as sort of like a legacy. So a lot of the Three Jokers stuff, I want to keep at least the main covers. I would love to keep those and hand those off to my kids, and the Rook stuff too. I don't know, like I kind of want to hold on to it and see where Rook goes. It could be way more valuable to kids in the future, right? Sketches and stuff like that, and commissions and whatnot, and I've done some different head sketches at cons and whatnot, and so. That stuff will be available in the future as well. But,
you did have a lot of it, not a lot, but you did have a few pieces available at New York that you were selling. But I remember talking to you about that. I commend you for that. You said, I'm going to keep it for my kids, which I really like.
That's really cool. Yes.
I mean, J stuff's so expensive because there's not a lot of it. A lot of digital.
Yeah.
I have a little pin in one of his Three Jokers covers though. So.
Yeah.
It was so cool to be able to flip through that book at MegaCon and see your originals. Like that was so awesome. So I've kept you guys an hour. I promised I would keep it at an hour. So I cannot thank you guys enough. I'm really super excited about this project. It was such an incredible, you guys have no idea how much of an honor it is to have you guys here. It means the world to us. We are major fans of you both, and we're very excited about this project. We're excited about all the artists and writers and everybody that you have involved. We think it's just very exciting for the comic book industry. We're fans. And did I freeze?
No.
You said, uh-oh, I thought I froze. Like I usually freeze. But anyway, I just want to say thank you so much. I also want to remind everybody, March 11th is the date for Geiger, Redcoat, and Rook. And then, of course, April 3rd as well, Ghost Machine Day. Merch down below. Anything else you guys want to add before you take off?
I just wanted to say thanks. That was really nice of you, Chris. And honestly, like the kinds of things like that, we could all have dinner and hang out and just talk. And like that Ghost Machine, like this allows us to just freaking be people and meet other people that share our interests and just enjoy comics and life and connect with people. Like that's really what it's all about. That's why we go to Comic-Con. It's pilgrimage to like what we love.
Yeah.
That's why it's so cool. When I was a kid, I like you wouldn't tell anyone you read comics. And then I saw like a kid on the bus reading comics and he became my best friend because I'm like, oh, you read them. And that was how it worked. And now we're so lucky to be connected in all these different ways. Like, there's so much disconnection in the world. It's nice to have connection.
Absolutely. I say all the time that the community is the best part of the hobby, about collecting, about any of it. It's all the art is great, but it's really the people that you connect with and you become friends with. Like I didn't know any of these guys before we started doing the show, and I didn't meet them for like 2 years after we started doing the show. And now we've been together quite a few times, and it's all about that community and that connection. So I definitely understand what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
Well, before you guys go, any future plans for future dinners at future conventions?
Yeah, we're gonna have a dinner every show.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
it was so fun. We're gonna try and keep it really small, like we did, because there's gonna be less of us in Philly, but we want to keep it small because it was so nice. It wasn't like one person, like one writer, one artist, like 50 people. It was pretty intimate, and I think we're gonna try and continue that just because it was so fun. Like it was like, honestly, if it wasn't fun, we wouldn't do it, because it's not like we don't have enough to do there. But
right.
We really enjoyed it.
So San Diego?
San Diego, we're going to be at San Diego, but I don't know if we're going to do a dinner there. We're going to do dinner at Philly, Denver, Toronto, Chicago, not New York, because we're going to be busy doing our own dinners there. And San Diego San Diego is probably going to be so hectic. I don't know. It's such a massive show.
Yeah.
But we'll be there.
All right. Might see you at Philly then.
Say I'm doing Fan Expo Dallas, but I might need to do Fan Expo Denver too. That sounds like I might need to head that way. So I'm not too far from there. So that's really great. Again, thank you guys so very much. I really appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Good seeing y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Best of luck with everything.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Good night, guys.
Bye, guys, have a good night.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Bye. See you, Jeff.
Wow.
Cool.
Good
Man,
timing.
That
Exactly.
was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. How
I
great
want
were
a
those
direwolf
guys?
statue.
The what?
I want a direwolf statue.
I was gonna say, the thought of these characters, but I love what Jeff was saying about how, he wants people to connect with these characters, before some of that stuff starts coming out. And I mean, there's a reason why we collect what we collect, is because we have connected to Batman or Superman or whoever we collect. And I thought that was pretty powerful the way you said that. But I sure would love some statues. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of big creators are leaving DC. I'm a little bummed, but yeah, I'm excited for their future, project coming up here.
The good news is on, the writing's has been good. I'm only speaking about the Batman title right now, but the writing's been good. There have been some really good up and coming new artists on DC lately. And I'm speaking about Batman and Detective Comics, even more Detective Comics. And Matt and I were talking about this last week, I think it was, where, wow, some of the artwork is really, really cool, really different and fresh. So maybe, Eric, because I completely agree with you, like, wow, all these superstars kind of moving to other things, but maybe that opens the doors for fresh perspective, both on the art and the writing side. Hopefully, maybe, an optimistic view.
I was gonna say there's room for all of it. I mean, there's room for there's room for talent. That's for sure.
I'm a huge fan of Image as well. I actually started off with Image. I find it's a little bit different. It's not always like your superhero stuff. It's I usually find like their stories are better told over at Image Comics. So it's cool that they went there.
That's cool.
Absolutely. Well, a couple things, guys. Number one, I've got a statue to give away tonight. So we're going to give away this Beast Kingdom Batman statue. It's the really cool one from the Dark Knight Returns, Dark Knight Rises. Really awesome statue. So we'll give that away at the end of the show. So make sure you're in the chat for that. And that means it's time to look at photos. Shall we do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
132 watching.
That's great. I was going to say, I know we've had a really nice audience tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Please hit that like button. That does help us out tremendously. And please make sure you follow all of those things, all those links and stuff that we talked about. Again, the more support that they get as they're trying to take off, the more possibilities of exciting content coming our way. So the fans need to support that as well, just like anything new. So that's exciting. All right, let me go into this. Hopefully I'll actually share my screen this time.
See, multiple Hulks.
That's right. Can you guys see that large on the screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So this was teased this week, kind of came out of nowhere. This is sculpted by Daniel Bell. What do you guys think of this? What you're seeing initially here?
They look very large. When I first saw this photo, I thought it was maybe like a Hulk buster. That's how big they look. But yeah, I'm curious to see what it looks like when it's lit up on the normal light.
I wonder if they're going to do different colors, like the gray Hulk, the red Hulk, and then the traditional.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, like a classic Hulk.
Yeah.
And will they have different portraits or the same portrait?
Well, that's what I think. If you're gonna do like a modern, like so on the previous PFs, they did like the modern, and then they gave it a switch out head. But maybe they're trying to avoid like a seam line on the head for once.
I would think.
Yeah.
I've heard rumblings, and I don't know if this will end up being true or not, but I've heard rumblings that some of these might be retailer exclusives.
I've heard that too.
Yes. So I don't know. Sideshow has not made that announcement yet. I don't know if it'll be available on their website or if it'll just be available on other retailers' websites. I don't know yet. But I thought that was interesting. So obviously through any, licensed Sideshow retailer, that's pretty exciting stuff right there. So I guess we'll stay tuned and hopefully we'll have the reveal here sometime soon. And again, we had that tease and we also had, of course, the actual graphic.
Yeah.
And it was sculpted by Daniel Bell, I believe, right?
Yep, sculpted by Daniel Bell. Absolutely. So it makes me nervous, though. He's switching over to Marvel. I want him to stay with DC stuff.
The top half of it, from the waist up, reminds me of their 1/5 scale Avengers Assemble Hulk.
Yep, exactly.
It's really similar.
It really is similar to that same pose. Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see the reveal, but it looks massive.
Yeah, hopefully it's soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
Like tomorrow would be good. Tomorrow's the Thursday.
Tomorrow would be good. This is the first I threw this in here because this was the first image from the new Superman, no longer Superman Legacy, but it's just going to be called Superman.
Superman.
I saw this, but I couldn't tell. Like, I can't tell what's fake or real anymore on the.
This is real. This is a real image. But the other one of the suit, the full suit, was fake apparently.
Okay. Yeah, this was posted by James Gunn. So
yeah, I was going to say this is official.
I'm curious to see the full suit. The logo looks good though.
Yeah, can't wait.
The snow makes sense. I think someone teased they were filming in Norway recently.
Yeah, they're doing Fortress of Solitude scenes up there.
That's awesome.
Oh, that
would explain the snow.
Yeah. Instead of all CG and instead of all CGI, actually,
Yeah. It's
filming on location.
One thing I find encouraging so far is the casting. It seems to me very traditional Superman casting. It's not way off base, weird casting. So I'm encouraged by that.
Me too. Yep. I'm sure you saw this photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like worst nightmare fuel right here.
I think that ladder must have been involved.
I just wonder what happened. Like it even looks like it's like reinforced underneath.
I think somebody fell off that ladder.
Oh, you think fell off and fell into it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Geoff said, like there's so much speculation that the shelves just collapsed, but maybe the guy fell over.
That shelf that we see in the middle there on the left, that right there, Chris, right where your cursor is. I think Geoff is 100% correct. That shelf just does not bend like
that. In that many spots. It's like buckled in 5 different spots.
Exactly. It just doesn't do that unless something applies pressure to it.
And I've had garage shelves, obviously, my entire collecting journey, and I never had really any bowing at all. And mine did not have these metal supports underneath. Yeah. So like I can't. There's no way that whatever they had on top. I don't know. It scares me. I think you're right. I think maybe somebody fell into it.
Yeah, Jeff's 100. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Ugh.
Yep.
Speaking of displays, I had to give a shout out to Todd. It's over at Spec. Look at this thing.
Why is he skimping though on the budget? I don't get it.
I don't know. I really wish you would put a little bit of money in this thing.
Right? Holy cow!
But is this just nuts?
It's crazy.
How do you clean this floor?
Yeah.
I was actually shocked when he released this photo because I've been there like 5 times during construction and I've never seen this room.
Oh my God.
Take your shoes off before entering? Or?
I've only seen the entrance that looks like, 2001, A Space Odyssey. But next time I'm over there, I'm gonna take a look at this. This is awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get the full tour of this place.
It looks like a clean room where you got to wear those
booties
on your shoes and
like the little blue booties on the bottom.
Anti-static wristbands and I mean the whole thing.
It's nuts.
Hazmat suits.
Wouldn't that be funny if you have to wear one of those?
It actually would be kind of funny. What is that? Is that Marcus?
This is from PCS.
Ooh, that's Marcus.
Yes, it is, Marcus.
So they teased this.
Cool.
Yeah, they teased this today, and I'm assuming it's third scale. I'm not.
It is.
It is third scale. Okay,
That's
third scale. Isn't that cool?
I love the Underworld franchise.
I do too.
Yeah,
So that's looking really good.
that's cool.
So I thought a lot of people would be excited about that one.
Yeah.
I love this one.
Let's talk about this one. This is the new Elektra from Sideshow. We kind of just saw a teaser last time, but we get a lot more involved this time. It's actually up for pre-order already.
Yeah.
What do you guys think now that you've seen it fully revealed?
I
Don't
love
know
the
about
flow
the
of it,
portrait.
like I said in the last one, and now the base even looks more awesome to me.
So you like the face?
It would be a definite buy if I was like super into Elektra, type thing like that. But I've always loved Daredevil. He was my dad's favorite superhero. That and Batman were my dad's two favorite superheroes who got me into comics and all that. So yeah.
Some people have liked her rage, kind of her rage face.
Yeah.
I think we're in the minority, Matt. Like I think we're the only ones that do like. I've seen a lot of complaints of people not liking it.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm not a fan of the portrait.
You're not.
Why not though?
I don't think she's attractive, whereas the last PF is extremely attractive.
Okay.
That's what I'll tell you. Be honest with you. When this was revealed, I brought down the old one because it's up on a high shelf and gave it a good dusting and took pictures of it, and was just struck by how great that piece is.
Yeah.
Just the musculature of her back. The pose is really cool. The face is beautiful.
That's because it's Susan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But this one, the face looks kind of harsh to me. I don't find it attractive. That's a lot of billowing sashes behind her, almost extreme to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's art. It's more artsy, I think.
Yeah. I can see that. All right.
The base is cool, but for the Elektra herself, I much prefer the last one.
Morris brought up a good point. He's like, "Why is she kneeling on the samurai guys?"
Yeah, it's like she just landed on them. Or
Yeah,
something.
like jumped on.
Yeah, maybe so.
Chris, can you zoom in on the portrait? I think I agree with pretty much everything Geoff just said. I think just structurally, design-wise, the teeth look wrong to me. Looks like she's got a mouthful of bad dentures, that are too big. Like those top teeth they don't look right in her mouth. I don't know. But I mean, she doesn't need to look like a supermodel, but at the same time, that face doesn't convey what I think, for me at least, what they were trying to convey. They're trying to convey aggression and all that.
Yeah.
It just looks like constipation or something. I don't know.
Well, and the crazy thing, I mentioned it in my video, but like you could see a gap on her hair.
What I was about to say, I guess, because it's the prototype. Yeah.
But like, how was that not caught when it was photographed? Like, that's the crazy thing.
Yeah. I saw it right away.
Something, right?
And why isn't she looking down at the four assassins trying to kill her?
That's true.
She's just nonchalantly looking off in the distance, thinking about lunch.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about lunch. I already had lunch, but anyway, I mean, I think what Dan said is very valid. There are angles where I think she looks better than others.
Yeah, profile's better.
Yeah, the profile's better for sure.
Yeah,
like that right there looks better to me than the front. But I agree. Yeah. I don't love her face, and I don't find it beautiful. Like I don't find it a beautiful face. I definitely understand what they were going for.
Yep.
This I love.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is one of the coolest bases I've seen Sideshow do ever, I think.
Yeah.
There's so much detail going on here.
I still like it, but I see your guys' points. Like, I think there's definitely a lot of artistic freedom going on in this one.
It's really cool. Yeah, I like the color choices too, with the dark maroons kind of, and the gold and the blue.
And the gold looks real good against the gray. Yeah.
It's a nice touch, a nice look, and something different. We always want something different, so here it is.
Yep.
I I reviewed, thanks to Joe Latour, his shredder, which is amazing. I absolutely loved it in person. It's already boxed up and ready to go for when I get back from spring break. But here's a picture of the turtles with him. It's always kind of cool to see them side by side. Here's some photos that I took. What did you guys think? I don't know if you guys watched the review or not.
I watched the review. I think it's again, Turtles from when I was a kid and all that. But Shredder is one of the all-time villains. I like that portrait. I love that portrait of it.
Yeah, I remember it from San Diego. I think it's a great piece, really, and quite large. It's very imposing. Yeah,
it really is, and especially like when you have his cape billowing out. Mm-hmm. It was very well done. I was really impressed with the texture and the paint. I just think it's one of PCS's coolest pieces I've ever seen.
The whole line is really, really well done.
It's fun. So anyway, that is shipping now from PCS and Sideshow and other places. And again, here's a kind of if you want to pair them up with the Turtles, they are going to do, I think, Casey Jones and some of the other ones as well. Bebop, Rocksteady, probably.
Yeah, it's a cool line.
This is the piece that I think, Jeff, we saw in San Diego. This is that, oh man, who made this?
The Weta?
Yeah, thank you, the Weta. This is that 6-scale Weta.
Yeah.
But I think it looks better here than it did in person.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, it's not perfect, but I feel like it's at least like that looks better to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not, not 100% there, obviously. But
he's the easiest of the three to get the likeness because he's the cowl,
Yeah, you got the cowl and the butt chin,
Harder with the other two.
The butt chin.
There it is. It's the butt chin. Right there. Mm-hmm. I love this. This is from DC Direct. This is, I think it's based on J. Scott Campbell.
Yep, J. Scott Campbell. He showed it today. Yep.
What do you guys think?
That looks good.
Yeah, right up to her neck.
Yep.
And the only other issue is there's no fishnets.
Yeah.
Well, but some people think it's based on the animated series where she didn't have the fishnets, I guess.
Okay, that could be.
I think this is going to sell really well. It's going to be
really well. Yeah. Could you imagine if Sideshow did a PF like this?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
It's yeah.
Oh, Eric's dubious.
What do you think, Eric?
As far as what, the fishnets?
I don't know.
In general, the statue. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. I'm a huge fan of J. Scott Campbell. Anything he does. Yeah, I was almost tempted to actually buy it for like my office shelf.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's really cool.
I think like you said, it's going to sell very well.
Yeah, and the same thing like Jeff said in his group. It's like almost impossible to paint fishnet. So unless they're using mixed media,
there's no way. You'll be so sloppy.
Yeah.
How cool is this?
I love this.
Dan, what art is this based on?
Sienkiewicz.
I know how much you like him.
Detective Comics 400.
It's so cool.
It's very different. Yeah.
It's really different, really neat.
Yeah, this is right off the cover.
Yeah,
this is right off the cover. I've got the cover signed by him, and I think Dan, didn't I get you one signed by him?
Yeah, we got one. Yep.
He's a cool guy.
Yep, definitely awesome. One of my favorite artists.
So I still have not met him yet, so I'm hoping I get to at some point.
I saw him interview Frank Miller at probably WonderCon a couple of years ago.
He's the one that sets up at the Alex Ross booth, right?
Yeah, he comes to New York.
Okay, yeah. Chris, you were there. I think we saw him at New York. I don't know if we spoke. We didn't speak to him, but you saw him at New York. We filmed the booth tour.
His stuff, guys, he had in New York. This was it. This past time? No, it was the prior one.
It was the year I went.
Yeah, the year that you went, Chris. He had 2 originals.
Yes,
3 originals in his booth. One of them, all 3 sold.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was 125. Batman 125 covers went $45,000.
I was going to say they were expensive.
The other one was Batman Reptilian, the one with Killer Croc on the cover. I've got a print of it here in my room, and that one went $40,000. Like, people pay big money for his art.
Yeah. He's like Jeff said too. He's a well-known artist and published artist, and he does. I've got some of his Daredevils.
His Daredevil stuff is awesome.
That I love.
So good.
His Electra graphic novel, Electra miniseries, and then before that, all of his Moon Knight stuff was just fantastic.
Yeah, Moon
right.
Knight.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
McFarlane's also doing a new DC Direct piece with the Joker, which I thought this one's pretty fun.
I don't approve of this one.
You don't like it?
No.
It does have the wooden gun we pointed out. It's got the wooden gun.
Yep.
So apparently you can have wood guns, just not real guns. But I like the padded cell base. I thought that was pretty neat.
It's creative.
Yeah.
It's
I don't like the
sculpted nicely.
tricycle.
Yeah, it's fun with the little trike, and it's just it's very whimsical. It's fun.
I don't like the tie to children like that.
Yeah.
Creeps me.
That's a good point.
You know, it just creeps me out. But
Yeah, well, I think that's the point, Dan.
well, not in a good way.
I know, but I think that's the point of this. It's too creepy.
Yeah.
This is another teaser from PCS. Obviously, Ghostbusters with the new Ghostbusters film coming out. I think this looks great.
That looks awesome.
They're doing a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say PCS is really they're really taking off. They're really doing some really great stuff.
That Pumpkinhead they did was really good.
It's so many great pieces. But this is what it's gonna look like all together. Like, how great is that?
All I can hear is, okay, who brought the dogs?
That's right.
So what scale? This is gonna be like 1/3 or something?
I don't think they've announced it yet. I'm guessing maybe quarter.
That looks like a coffee table piece.
I was gonna say this is gonna be a Jeff Morris coffee table for sure.
Yeah. It looks great though.
It's probably quarter because I think weren't there Ghostbusters quarter?
Oh yeah, they were. Jeff. Yeah, they were.
I think they were.
Right.
That's right. So this would make sense that it's quarter. But even at quarter, like those dogs are going to be really big.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Really big. It'd be one hell of a diorama. It'd be really cool if they did like a giant Stay Puft head behind it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
That'd be neat. Here's some in-hand photos of. Oh, geez, is this the in? No, I don't know if this is in art or Hot Toys. This must be Hot Toys. But I put some photos of that. I thought it looked pretty darn good.
That looks good.
Yeah. That looks better. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it looks real nice. So people have been real happy with Hot Toys lately with what they've been getting in.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, I think it looks awesome.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it's probably Hot Toys. It's got you can pose them and stuff, right?
Yeah. The Poison Ivy finally went up for pre-order this last week. What do you guys think of this one? This one I have not ordered. I'm assuming none of you have either.
When this one was first announced, I thought, I love that. I thought it looked really great. I refuse. $1,600 is obnoxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this,
It's quarter scale.
it's obnoxious.
What the hell?
But that
Why?
being said, I do love the bonus part of the Batman skull. It was in the.
This right here.
I do love that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of cool stuff going on the back of the base that you'll never see unless you have
Yeah.
It's awesome.
a rotating display.
But $1,600
1/3 pricing for a quarter scale.
plus shipping, guys. Probably what?
Shipping.
$250.
Yep.
I mean,
Not happening.
Yeah. No way. No way.
And you know I compared this to the piece from Sideshow that just recently came out. I love it. Like, it's so good.
Yep.
And like, I think this one's great. Some people have said it's kind of like elfish or fairy like, which maybe is why I don't relate to it quite as much.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, I do like the metallic paints. I know in talking to their creative director, I talked to him a couple months ago about this piece, and he had mentioned how excited they were about this new paint technique that they were doing with the metallics and stuff. And there's no doubt that it looks great. But really, at this point, it comes down to, like, again, the price point. If you're charging third scale prices for a quarter scale, and you are getting a lot of base, so I can understand maybe where some of that cost is coming from. But holy moly.
Did they change this portrait? I thought
did.
this portrait used to look more like Uma.
Yep.
Well, they do have that portrait, which is right here.
Okay.
But,
No, but to me, the face on all the portraits now look very similar to each other.
They do.
Whereas before, I thought this one looked more like Uma.
I agree. I agree. I think the original portrait, and I think even she had different hair, like it had more of like a Uma Thurman hair.
Yeah, right.
When we first saw that render teased, when they first did that reveal, and so I agree. That was the first thing I noticed. So I'm like, why are all the hairs the same?
Yeah.
And all the portraits look. I mean, this looks just softer. She's not evil right now. Like the other one made her look mean.
I can see with these portraits why people would say kind of elfish or fairy-like because she does look like that. And the way that those leaves are situated behind her almost look like wings.
Looks like
Exactly.
You know,
Groucho Marx with those eyebrows.
And also, there's so much plants.
yeah.
You know, she gets a little bit lost, and maybe she looks smaller, like a fairy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So I
like-
can see why people would think that.
You know, I have not seen or thought of those being wings, but now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that looks like now.
Yeah, it's a disappointment because it's such a cool piece, but it's so expensive.
Yeah. It just,
If this was 900, I'd buy it.
yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can even see 12 because
Yeah,
they
I mean,
tack on
yeah.
5 or so.
If it's
or
12 for
15.
the deluxe,
Yeah,
I would consider,
yeah.
because you're getting a lot of base. But still. But yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at everything you don't see.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's really cool. That's a great idea.
It's so cool on the back.
You know, I like
All that wasted sculpt.
You can actually display it that way too, I think.
A victory royale for some collectors. Obviously, Jay Sia has updated the Batman once again, and on the more Neil Adams like head, he is going to make the cowl ears longer. He actually asked my opinion, and I actually liked the short ears, but he obviously listened to everybody else's feedback as well. He's going to do the blue. Did somebody say something funny?
Yeah. Chris says long ears. Okay, we're definitely going short.
right.
This is already up for pre-order now.
Yes, it's already up for pre-order.
All right, so I don't mind the changes, but as somebody that, like, if I was pre-ordering something and then they made so many changes to this piece that it's like,
Yeah, he needs to be done.
Thank God it's for the better. I mean, I can imagine, like, if something went wrong, I'm like, oh, I already have it on pre-order though. Why are you changing it?
Yeah, he needs to be done.
Yeah.
They've also lessened the cape texture, which I really liked the cape texture, so I'm a little bit bummed that they're
I
going to
did
smooth
like
it out.
Yeah, I like the cape texture. Now it looks like it's just going to be smooth. Yeah.
So I did not like the cape texture. I couldn't understand why the cape texture would be different than the cowl. It made no sense to me. The cowl was smooth, and the
Okay.
cape looked
Well,
like
that makes
a
sense.
cowl.
That makes sense.
That makes sense then, Jeff. That makes sense. So anyway, they are adjusting just to kept, just to update everybody if you hadn't seen it. This is a.
Wait. Who's
What?
ordered it?
I have one coming.
I have one coming.
I'm going to get there. I think with respect to the
Okay, we got there.
last show we did where they're adding back the grappling hook, I think I'm going to go ahead and order.
Yep.
Bite the bullet. Yeah. Where did you guys order from? Spec?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Dan, how about you?
I will probably regret this, but right now I'm not going to order it.
Okay.
I've got Tech 1000. I've got Hush. I'm thinking about space for other characters. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, like we said, knowing that he's going to do so many villains.
That's what I'm waiting for. Is
Right.
I'm waiting for Jay's third scale villains.
And
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Did
I
he
like
al-
DC's full steam ahead at this point. I know we don't want to go into it at the point,
Right.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that with his statement earlier this week, I think that we're going to see some stuff real soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really
hope we see a Raza Bull.
do. He's for sure. He's coming.
Okay, good.
He's coming. This is a PCS piece. This is maybe Devastator, I think is who it was.
sounds about right.
I thought it was interesting. This is going to be a pretty big piece. I thought it was interesting that PCS was doing this.
Oh, really?
Do they have others that they've done of these? Like, is that a Gen 1? That looks like a Gen 1 Transformer.
Gen 1. I don't think they've done others. I don't think.
That's cool.
Interesting. It looks great.
It looks great. It's so different than like a Prime 1 piece. Like it's definitely more like simplistic, but it looks more like the toy,
Yeah, it doesn't have that like the
colors.
shine.
Yeah.
I like that there's no shine and like it's kind of dull. It looks kind of I guess worn, like he would, with respect to me, so yeah.
But that is kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it.
And the colors. The colors.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah. So anyway, that's coming from PCS. They're obviously working on that. But I thought it was a pretty cool piece.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Devastator.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
What
Borg
did I
Cube
say? Did I
101.
say Devastator? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I'm just confirming. Borg Cube at 101 said Devastator.
Okay, thank you, guys. This is a 1/10 scale Cyclops from Iron Studios. They have a lot of the 90s comic book look, which I thought was really cool.
That looks good for a small piece.
I like the paint. I like the paint application on it.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
got
that's
that.
X-Men 97, around the 97. Time
Looks
frame.
almost like cell shading, like where they make
Exactly.
it look like the comic
Yep.
book. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. Same with Gambit. They're doing a Gambit as well.
These will be popular.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, especially at that scale. I think it's
If they're the right price point. If they get these like, under the $200 mark,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be popular.
yeah. Same with Rogue.
I can see like that 150, 175 would be
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. It's real simple base, so it shouldn't be too expensive.
Exactly.
So they also had a new Captain America as
Ooh,
well.
that looks good.
I liked the pose on this one.
Yeah, I like the pose and the texture.
Looks like the
The texture looks real good.
sideshow piece.
Yeah, 13 inches tall,
Man, that looks good.
and swap out heads too. So that's kind of neat for them.
That's fun.
But yeah, I thought the sculpt was really nice. I like the colors.
Swap out heads. That's
Yeah, I say you don't see that on that
on
scale.
10 scale.
Not on that scale. So I thought that was pretty neat.
I'm curious to hear Jeff's on that since. What do you think about that one, Jeff?
I think it looks really cool.
I
Great
like the
pose.
texture of the suit.
I like the height of the base. Like it's
Yeah.
got a really nice movement to it.
Yeah, that looks really neat.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool piece by them. They also have a Raven as well, and I believe the Raven also has swap out heads.
Oh,
That's awesome. That should be
looks
bigger.
awesome. Yeah.
So that's what it looks like. Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get
Wow. That's really cool.
Could you imagine that at quarter scale?
Yes,
I've been-
please.
I've been waiting forever
Yes,
for a
please.
Raven session.
I know everybody's been waiting for one, and no one's ever done her. But like this would be a perfect quarter scale for them.
I'm surprised they're not doing it.
They
I
did a
know.
Starfire. It sold out. It's popular. Do a Raven. Come on.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. They also had a is this Ronin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That looks cool.
yeah. I like the base.
Yep.
It's fun. Iron Studios is doing some really great stuff.
Yep.
Give a shout out to our good friend Sean Murphy. I'm looking forward to seeing him this summer at Fan Expo Dallas. And he recently got to finally see his bike for the very first time. He's never seen it, but he finally got to see it. So definitely Dan and I still love our pieces. And
Oh, yeah.
it's just so cool that Sean finally gets to see his. This was a piece also from PCS, maybe from the Howling. I think
That is
this
from
was,
the Howling.
yeah, from one of the swap outs, the severed hand. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty fun.
That's pretty neat. Conan, this has been controversial this week.
Can you zoom in on that? What
I
scale
like
is
the
this?
other one.
This is half scale.
Half? Wow.
Yes, half. This is what all the controversy has been about this week.
So why? I've seen that, but I don't know why. I don't get it.
There's been a certain pocket of the online community that's been very very harsh.
What don't they like about it though?
Yeah.
Likeness, I think.
Really?
The likeness
It looks there.
is it perfect? It is not.
No.
But I think it's clearly Arnold. It's clearly young Arnold. And I know Ant has really come out. And first of all, in order for this to be made, Arnold had to sign off on it.
Yeah.
And then some people were saying like his muscles were too big, and Ant responded, well, sometimes the actors like it to be puffed up a little bit, a little bit bigger than normal life.
That's fine.
This is
so,
when, by the way, this movie was created when Arnold was at his biggest.
Oh yeah, I was
Correct.
gonna say, I remember as a kid,
I
he
mean,
was big.
Yep.
yeah, he was massive.
to me, that looks about right. I mean, if you've watched the, Arnold documentaries from when he was, competing in Mr. Universe, which was literally like 2 years before this, if that. I mean, I don't know. I think it looks a lot
think
like
it's right
me.
on.
But yeah,
I
this
was
is
just looking at pictures of him when he was competing. I think maybe even when he was filming this, maybe he's a little bit more defined. If anything, I think his buys were probably even more like mass bigger.
Bigger, yeah.
I like
But that's
the
not a
other-
bad thing. I mean, it's fine.
The other one with him painted with the painted
The war paint.
the war paint. Yes.
Yeah, that looks awesome. Come
But
on.
the torso in general, like the chest and everything, looks spot on.
I was gonna
You know what I
say
just noticed too, Chris, in that last picture where the hands look really good.
this one here
Yep.
has a nice paint application. It's got real like leather effects, like real clothing, wool. I really like this base. It's got a skull base on this one, and then the other one has this kind of snake like base. But yeah,
I do think that the portrait, not so much on the war paint version, but on the other version, to me it looks a little cartoonish. Cartoonish version of Arnold.
I think that's fair. I mean, we're so used to, if we have if this was Blitzway, let's say,
right?
I think that it would just be a cleaner sculpt, a little bit more defined. Where I think what I find with some of with PCS's actor likenesses, it's just their features are a little soft.
Yeah, I can see that.
Most of them, but occasionally, like Candyman is really, really good.
I agree. I think that one was really good in person as well, especially the one with the bees coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
I liked that one a lot. But I just feel like sometimes with their actors' likenesses, it's just a little too soft, and maybe we would like something maybe just slightly more defined.
One thing that surprised me about this piece is I've heard some people complaining about the price. The price on direct from PCS is $22.50.
I think that's fair.
To me, that's really fair.
For a quarter scale or for a half scale?
How many years ago did the half scale BVS Trinity go for $2,000 each?
I mean, a third scale shipped right now is $2,000.
That was years ago.
Yeah.
So for it to only be 10% more in 2024 seems like a very fair price to me.
Yeah, I don't think that price point's bad. So, I mean, again, art is, as we say, art is always in the eye of the beholder. If you don't like the likeness, then, obviously they don't buy it. Or Anne has also said, there were some issues with the eyes, and so they're tweaking a few things. So, I mean, companies are listening to feedback, and I always think that that's a smart thing for companies to do. But I think overall, this piece looks pretty great.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think both versions are pretty cool. I threw this in here because I'm a big AC/DC fan. I saw this on one of the posts. There's a company doing this. I thought it was a pretty cool little Brian Johnson piece.
Oh, that's cool.
From Knuckle Bonks or Bonds is what the company's name, but they do rock and roll statues. But again, real simple. Again, this is kind of a simplified sculpt, but I could definitely tell it's Brian there. It's pretty cool. 1980s Brian. This is a new Velociraptor from Prime One Studio. Always like their dinosaur work.
Yep.
Always fun pieces. This is the female. This is a 1/6 scale. So one of their smaller pieces. So quite a bit more affordable. Do you guys know anything about this? I threw this in here. This Batman First Night. Apparently it's already out.
Yeah, that's the new kind of a new story that they're going with, kind of back to the old days of Batman, just the old classic days. I love the art style so far.
I was going to say the art
looks like pulps rather than comics.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Aren't they doing like an old animated series like that as well?
Yeah, I thought they were doing a TV show.
Yeah.
It's been teased for years, and I think it's finally being made. Finally.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This was from Beast Kingdom. I just saw this. They teased this Riddler. I'm not all that impressed with the face, but it looks really small. I mean, it doesn't look like 6 scale. I don't know.
Yeah. Doesn't look like Jim Carrey, but
yeah, not impressed.
Yeah.
It's good as a Riddler though.
I'm impressed with this. This is Dobby. This is a half scale Dobby from Wizarding World of Harry Potter, obviously. But I think they nailed him.
Any idea what the price tag is on that one?
Half scale.
I don't know. Let me go to
half scale Dobby would not be very big.
No, it would not be. Let me see if Prime One has it up on their site yet. I got the pictures from their site, but I forgot to look at the price, if it's even available yet. Let me see.
It looks really good.
Okay, so this is a half scale. It's an edition size of only 300, and it's $8.99.
That's not too. How tall is it?
The size is 21 inches tall.
Ooh, that's close.
That's not bad.
I don't think it's that bad. There's also a bonus where you get the little cakes.
It's got to have the cakes.
So, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
But I thought this was really cute. I mean, he's not cute, but I thought this was a cool piece.
No, if you're a big Harry Potter fan, I think this is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think the sculpt's really nice.
Or even a cake fan.
Oh, yeah, if you like cake, sculpted cake.
But I guess, are they going to do other Harry Potter stuff in half scale?
I don't know about half. That's the only problem. I know they're
You know
doing
what I
some
mean?
smaller scale.
It might be kind of weird to have a half scale Dobby and a quarter scale everything else.
Yeah, that's true.
You could put them next to like Grogu and stuff.
There you go.
Maybe, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we'll find out at the next level event.
Although Grogu's life size.
That's true. That is true. That sculpt is just awesome. I love it.
Cool.
It really is.
Love
That's
that.
really good. Got a couple of new hot toy pieces. Star Wars Ahsoka. Some people said they thought that the likeness was really bad. Other people are saying it's really, really good. I have not seen the show, so I can't say one way or the other.
It's funny. Some people did say it was bad, and then someone posted a side-by-side of this piece, this figure, next to the picture that they must have used as the model for it. It's identical. It looks exactly like her.
I don't know what she's supposed to look like, but she looks real. I feel like I'm looking at a photo. So
yeah, the skin is crazy, scary good.
Yeah,
it really does look realistic.
And the eyes,
and they're doing light up lightsabers, which is really
that's
neat.
cool. Oh, that is cool.
They're doing that on this one, and then also him, the other piece.
Yeah.
Which I have seen this actor, and I think that looks really good.
Yeah, he sadly passed away.
Oh, did he really?
He did.
That's too bad.
He was my age, I think.
Yikes.
Jeez.
That's not good. Well, anyway, a couple pieces from Hot Toys. I believe they're both available right now.
Tomorrow.
No, tomorrow.
Wow. That looks big. Oh, he's behind it.
Let's see. Oh, that was the other picture. I got that one out of order.
That looks cool.
Yeah, that's that's the other cover from the first night.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. That's it.
Wow.
Not a ton of stuff going on. Hey, 166 people watching. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Hit that like button if you would do me that favor. That really does help me out tremendously and help the group out. That's just awesome. So please hit that like button. You do have to have hit the like button in order to win the statue. So please hit the like. I'll just wait for a second. I'll give you a few seconds to hit it. Please do that. As we get ready to get a giveaway. I cannot speak it now, apparently. Let me try again. We're going to give away a statue here in a few minutes. But anything for sure that you guys saw tonight that you're thinking about or might want to add for sure? I don't think anything for me necessarily.
No.
Probably not. Well, no. The thing is, I measure every Hulk statue now next to the LBS.
If
yeah,
the picture of Sean Murphy with the White Knight bike counts, I still want that.
It's such a good piece.
Yeah, it doesn't get old either.
And I don't think anything like it will ever be made again.
Yeah.
You know,
Probably not. Probably.
It's just so different.
So do we want to talk about the LBS XM thing, or do we want to not talk about that?
Oh, we could talk about it for a few minutes.
A little bit about it.
So I did a video. Was it today? I don't even remember what day it is. It might have been today. I did a video today, and then I've already filmed a follow-up video for tomorrow, talking a little bit about this. But basically, if you're in the know, basically the LBS came out and said, "Hey, we're severing our relationship with XM. We are no longer associated with them until some other projects are finalized." So all of these Marvel pieces were going to be canceled. Ones like Thanos, ones like Spider-Man, Venom, and Wolverine. Those are the ones that we actually got to see them teased at one of their convention shows. When Jay was on the show, he showed them to us.
Yeah.
And I thought that they looked really good. And so I've been hearing rumblings. I know you guys have been hearing rumblings about maybe some issues with XM. Again, I don't know what's going on with them. I know some people, like Dan, had ordered a bunch of stuff and still doesn't have it, still not being shipped. Well overdue. So I don't know necessarily what's going on there. Again, I've heard rumors, and there's some rumors I'm not going to talk about here on the channel, because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But for whatever reason, that relationship is over. However, XM still has a contract with Marvel, and so they've already produced the Iron Man. Geoff, did you ordered the Iron Man?
Yeah.
So you have the biggest stake at this, in terms of all of us. Whereas they say it's being produced, you should be able to get it. Hopefully,
Chris,
there's some weird verbiage.
Yeah, I got to throw an asterisk there. I got to throw a caution flag. When
right, there's some weird verbiage there.
They didn't say it's being produced. They said it's in production. Production is a phase of product delivery, right? It is not an activity. Production is a phase.
That's a good point.
I am not sold on the fact at all that is being produced.
Also comes in batches.
I can speak about that a little bit because I contacted Jay pretty much right away when I read that, and we chatted a bit, and he said, because I was struck by the line that as long as XM fulfills its financial obligations, at peace.
Yep.
And so I mentioned that to him, and he said, basically, what I got out of the conversation was, if you ordered Iron Man from someone other than XM, you're good. You're going to get it.
Okay.
Really?
If you order from XM, it depends on whether or not they fulfill their obligation regarding that piece. So I ordered mine from Spec Fiction Shop, and he said, you're going to get it 100%, no problem.
Interesting.
So
XM has to pay for those quantities that they were going to sell direct.
Yes.
And they haven't paid that bill. That's what that is.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then they changed the Thanos to pending, I think, right?
Yes. Well, what was it? It wasn't pending.
Originally canceled, and then they changed it to now it's like pending.
Now, no. What it says is, I thought it said pending too. It actually, I have got it right here. It's under negotiation.
Okay, that's even better.
Is what that says. Where the other ones still say canceled. Yeah. So basically, long story short, they posted that yesterday. XM Studios responded today, and again, that's what I'm going to get in with my my video tomorrow. So again, thanks everybody to watch tomorrow. But basically, XM says that we have a great relationship. Please support LBS. Blah blah blah. So all the politically correct things to say, whether that's true or not, whether there is bad blood there or there are financial issues or whatever going on there, I don't know, but they have said to support each other, which I think is very great, very civil. And this is the thing that's interesting, is they said that we're going to do everything we can to help Jay get the Marvel license. But if he can't get it, we're going to take his concepts, tweak it, and make them our own, and then give you those products.
Yeah, they made that comment in their group. They said, we will do the line, but it won't be the same sculpts that Jay showed. It'll be our own designs.
Because they did respond. They in a lot of the responses they made sure they kept saying, we do not have Jay's files. Mm-hmm. But they did say that maybe they would retweak them and make them their own if he can't get the license. Now I've heard, I contacted Jay this morning. And unfortunately he called me while I was at work, and so he had video chatted, and so I messaged him, and he said, hey, just call me back when you have a chance. And so I was hoping to be able to have talked to him by the time we went live on the air tonight. Unfortunately that did not happen. I've had some people reach out to me today saying, hey Chris, Jay has the Marvel license. I don't know if that's true or not. I wanted to hear it from him himself.
Oh, so we talked about that too. He is confident that he will get the Marvel license.
Okay. So maybe that's what it was. Now. Okay.
He said, so it's possible that these canceled pieces will materialize. And he said, yes, but it will take longer.
Yes, because then he'll have to go through all of the approval process and all of that stuff, which had probably already been approved through XM.
Right.
So I think that's probably good news all across the board. Of course, waiting sucks, but at least if you were excited about that piece, because I had so many people comment, like, I'm so mad that they're not going to do the Wolverine. I'm so mad they're not going to do this, because that Wolverine to me looked awesome.
Yeah.
And so I would imagine in time, that'll all work itself out. Unfortunately, again, it's always hard to see, the company's not working or whatever. They both XM did say something along the lines of they both had some sort of production issues or some sort of issues together. Whether that's true or not, who knows? But again, I know we've had our concerns behind the scenes for quite some time.
Yep.
Well, Jay, do not give up your files.
Yeah.
Jay seems pretty smart. He seems to be going about all of this the right way. I like the stuff that he's put out. He seems like a straight arrow to me. I like Jay. He doesn't mince words or feed people BS.
AF is bringing up another good point I forgot to bring up earlier, that Todd also did confirm that if a piece doesn't end up shipping, the PO will be refunded, which basically means that Todd eats that cost, which that hurts. I know companies are having to do that with on recreations because they're not getting their money and they're not getting their product.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Jonathan Nans asked if he gets a Marvel license, I wonder if he could do his previous pieces in quarter scale. That'd be interesting. I really don't know.
Yeah, it all depends on the license.
Yeah, maybe we can have Jay on soon and on our next show or something, and see if he wants to talk about some of this stuff. And that'd be really, really great to hear from him personally.
That'd be a good idea, Chris, if you can make that happen. I think with respect to Jay, I think he's got some things that he wants to let the collecting community know, et cetera.
Yeah. So I'll work on that behind the scenes, and
the impression I get is they both don't really know. It's like just being negotiated right now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So anyway, in the end, I hope the collectors get the product that they're wanting, or maybe something brand new and even better will come out of this. Who knows? It's competition is a good thing. I mean, and some people did comment that they were working together and now they're competition for each other. So it is interesting, and especially in a climate where people are not buying right now very, very much. So the timing's interesting, but man, what a show. You guys want to say anything else before we wrap it up tonight?
That was a great show. The Fabok interview went by super fast, It's good though.
Yeah, I kept looking at the time. I'm like, there's 30 more questions I want to ask, but they had a rep come on before the show, Kat. I just want to give a shout out to Kat if she's watching. But anyway, she set up everything for us, and they had just done another hour interview before ours, and so I didn't want to keep them a second longer because I'm sure they'd like to spend some time with their families and stuff tonight. But I just want to give them a shout out and for taking the time, not only at that dinner, which was just phenomenal, and to me, and again, I want to thank that guy especially, and then the other guy in the corner, because they enabled me and Eric to get a ticket. Because I didn't want to spend the money at first, but I'm really glad I did, because it was very memorable, and it created this show tonight. So it was even cooler. Another great memory and experience. So I want to thank everybody for being here. We got 172 people right now, so we need to give away a statue. Here it is right here, guys. It is Beast Kingdom. It'll be shipped from me. The statue is going to be free. All I ask is that you pay actual shipping. It's not a very big box. It's not very heavy. So I'm guessing maybe $30, maybe $40 at maybe most. Maybe we'll see. And so I will get that out to you guys this week, probably tomorrow, actually, if people are able to, or if you want it. So again, this is the Dark Knight Rises marble statue that I reviewed here recently on the channel. So if you're not sure which one I'm talking about, go back a couple of videos, you'll be able to find it. Just search Beast Kingdom Batman. Okay. All right. So I need to set up real quick to do our little StreamYard giveaway tool.
Got Jeff Morris in the chat. Hey Jeff.
Hey Jeff. Hope you're doing okay, my friend. We missed you tonight. All right, StreamYard giveaway tool. All right, I'm going to choose my live stream, and I'm going to keep it actually.
Did your Beast Kingdom cardboard box include a disclaimer? Remember when I showed you guys that sticker? So they had put a sticker over where you cut the tape, and it said, "Once you cut this tape, we're not responsible for the inside of the statue." That only happened to one of my orders, though. So I have like 5 Beast Kingdom stuff. I have their Disney stuff, and they put that on one of the boxes. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
I don't remember. Hashtag, guys, right here in the chat, hashtag Ghost Machine. Hashtag Ghost Machine.
McKine.
Type it in if you're interested in winning. If you don't want it, don't play. But get that in. Got 3 entries. Got 7 entries in so far. Keep them coming. Hashtag Ghost, GHOSTMACHINE. Remember, you only need to do it once. It will not count it if you do it multiple times. Only do it one time. I mean, you can do it. You can do it 30 times if you want, but it won't help.
I feel like the last time the person that won, he entered like 20 times and he ended up.
Yeah.
winning.
Just do one, guys. Just do one. We got 36 entries in so far, 37. Hashtag Ghost Machine if you're interested in winning. And again, I just want to give a shout out.
Midnight Dip, he spelled it wrong. Just real quick. Sorry.
Yeah. If you spelled it wrong, it will not work. But again, I want to give a shout out to Geoff Johns and Jason Fabok both for taking the time. How cool was that, guys?
It was awesome. It was awesome. Just like the dinner. Just like the dinner.
Just awesome. All right. Let's see here. We got 49 entries. I'll give it another minute or so. Got Arthur, we got Julia, Superman, Doom, Ryan, Fine Tip, Creative Studio, Depeche, Joe Caramello, Darth Dread, Blake Marvel, RDD, Shiny Suits. We got Nancy in the house, Scott in. Let's give a shout out to everybody. Fernando, Midnight Dip, Dogfather, Dom, Alex, Matt, Sue, Lewis, Vinny, AF, and Namic. Also, I don't think I can get back up here, and I feel really bad. Let me see if I can get all the way back at the beginning. I have to give a shout out. So I didn't catch these super chats at the very beginning, so I do apologize. JWR, $20 super chat. He says, wanted to say thank you, Jason and Geoff, for the amazing Batman stories and art over the years. And I'm really sorry I didn't get to the question, guys. I really feel bad. The show got going, and I didn't even see these. So JWR had one. Also, Money Wasted Collecting, $20 super chat. I second JWR. Excited for Ghost Machine. Also, shout out to one of the best groups in the game. All positive vibes and nice people. Nice to have a chill group in this realm of interesting collectors. LOL. Thanks, Chris and team. Thank you very. That was so awesome of you guys. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good
thank you for the
vibes.
Yeah. Thank you for the kind comments. We really appreciate that very much. What we do here is important to us, and the vibe that we send out is very important as well. So thank you guys for that. I got 52 entries. I'm going to give it about 10 seconds. 10, 9, hashtag Ghost Machine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Emmanuel says, I'm out of battery. In case I win, I'll take it, Chris. Oh, you got it, Emmanuel. There we go. Again, all I ask is that you ship or that you pay for shipping. If you are the winner, please give me your YouTube name and also your mailing address, and I'll arrange the PayPal thing on the shipping. So thebatmanstatuecollector@gmail.com. Okay. Let me go into share my tool here. Not that tool, but
that didn't sound right.
That doesn't sound right at all. That's not good. After I was just talking about how wholesome our show is.
Sorry.
Yikes. All right, can you guys see this?
Let's see who won.
Yeah.
All right, Ghost Machine, you guys can see it okay?
Got it.
All right, here we go. Time to draw.
Oh, Midnight Dip was in there. So.
Oh.
Winner, AF.
AF.
Very good. AF is our winner. I am going to draw again as a backup in case AF does not want it. Okay, here's our backup draw. Just in case.
So the Batman statue collector.
I did too. All right, Mr. Montoya with the J. Scott Campbell. I love that back there. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Piece. Yep. Nice.
All right, so is AF in the chat? Is AF still in the chat? If you are, let me know if you would like it, just to confirm. If you're in the chat, AF, please let us know that you are wanting it. Not seen anything yet. Surely he was here.
He was here early in the show too. Like he's been on the entire time.
Okay. AF, let me know if you are wanting it for sure. I'm assuming that you entered. You do.
Maybe he's celebrating right now.
He's throwing confetti around. So AF is our winner. I have not had confirmation yet, so we'll see. Hopefully he'll be able to confirm, or she.
The suspense.
I know.
It builds.
That's right. Twiddle our thumbs. AF's just sitting there going, let's see how long those suckers can wait.
For a minute.
That's right. Hey, I'm going to search Facebook for a little bit. Ooh, look what's new on Instagram.
Hey, we've got a TikTok, right? I'm just gonna...
Yeah, hey. Sure. That's right.
Can you put in like the title?
Hey! Somebody woke him up. Hey, congratulations. Yeah, thebatmanstatuecollector@gmail.com, and I'll get you a quote. Okay, just send me your mailing address so I can get you a quote. Anyway, congratulations, AF. That's awesome. And so anyway, thanks guys for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it as always. I'm assuming we haven't really talked about it, but when are you guys thinking next auction? We had originally talked about May. Do you think maybe April? What do you guys think?
I'm good for whenever you want to go.
Maybe April.
Maybe April. I think April makes sense.
April.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So your job is to hype it up in Facebook and wherever else. Okay.
Mega.
Yep. Hype it up. It's going to be the mega auction sale. I'm guessing there's probably going to be some great books from this guy as well.
Could be.
As he always has some. So anyway, look forward to that in April, and then maybe the next show I'll see if I can get Jay on for the following Rogues in 2 weeks. Otherwise, thanks for watching again. Thanks for the Ghost Machine crew. Really appreciated that. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you in the Batcave.
See you
Bye,
guys.
everybody. Bye, guys. Good night.